Hello students, welcome to my channel. So let's start with the class 12's most important derivation, that is Coulomb's law. And this is the one of the most important law because based on this only we are having so many MCQs. And before starting with the Coulomb's law, we have to understand some basic concepts. Let's start with some basic concept like the concept of permittivity. So what do you mean by this permittivity? So the permittivity is nothing but it is the ability of the material to permit electric field. So it is the ability of the material to permit the electric field. Means, so in the childhood days, if you remember, you have played with the magnet, right? So if you have taken a magnet, for example, if I have taken this A as a magnet, right? And now, if you have placed an iron piece here, right? So now, this small iron piece will be attracted by the magnet. If it is too far, then it will not be attracted. Means there is a magnetic field will be there. Which field will be there? Magnetic field. So due to this magnetic field, this iron piece will get attracted if I will place this iron in this field. Similarly, here to understand the Coulomb's law, here we have to remember, here there is a charge, and due to the charge, there is an electric field. So this electric field we can name it as with the letter E. And now if I place a small unit positive charge in this, then this charge will experience a force. So how much the charge is experiencing a force, that much I can say the field is more or less. So here I have told, so what do you mean by the permittivity? It is the ability of the material to permit the electric field. For example, if I have placed the two charges, one is the Q1 and another is the Q2. Between these two charges, if air is present, then the force between the charge will be different. As we know, the like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. So, when they are attracting or when they are repelling, in between there is a medium. So, that medium has to allow the force between the two charges. So if there is an air, the case will be the different. If there will be some other material, like it may be water, it may be mica, right? It may be rubber, it may be glass. If any other materials are placed between the two bodies or between the two charged bodies, then the force between the two charges changes. And that property or that property of that material, we are naming it as what it is, permittivity. So means, what do you mean by the permittivity? The permittivity is nothing but it is the ability of the material to permit the electric field. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Let's see this. This permittivity here, this permittivity is also called as absolute permittivity. Absolute permittivity, which is denoted by epsilon. It is denoted by epsilon. So what do you mean by the absolute permittivity? It is the measure of the resistance that is encountered when forming an electric field in a medium. So what we are telling the absolute permittivity, it is the measure of the resistance. Means the how much that material is opposing the field lines. It is the measure of the resistance that is encountered when forming an electric field in a medium. Therefore, that is called as what it is, absolute permittivity. And now the another term we will use in the Coulomb's law, that is called as permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space, which is denoted by epsilon naught. So the permittivity of free space, it is nothing but the medium is either air or vacuum. The medium is air or vacuum. It represents the permittivity of the free space. It represents the ability of the vacuum to permit electric field. So means how much this air or vacuum is permitting the electric field, means how much it is allowing. So that is called as permittivity of free space. Now the another important term which we are using in the Coulomb's law, that is called as relative permittivity. Relative permittivity. So what do you mean by this relative permittivity? So this relative permittivity, it is the factor. It is the factor by which the electric field between the charges is decreased relative to the vacuum. It means we can define as, it is defined as, it is the ratio of, it is defined as, it is the ratio of absolute permittivity to the permittivity of free space. It is defined as, it is the ratio of absolute permittivity to the permittivity of free space. So it will tell that how many times this epsilon r is equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. So this epsilon r, we have named it as a relative permittivity. As I told, this, it is the factor by which the electric field between the charge is decreased relative to the vacuum. So how many times the field will be decreased if any other materials are placed. For example, if water is placed, how many times it is decreased? If I have placed a glass, how many times it is decreased? If I have placed wax between the two charges, then how much the field will be decreased? That we have to tell it as what it is, relative permittivity. Is it clear? So here the three important terminologies we are using, that is absolute permittivity, permittivity of free space, and relative permittivity. And this relative permittivity is also called as dielectric constant. It is also called as dielectric constant. And this relative permittivity for air is 1.0006, and for vacuum it will be 1, right? And for rubber it is 7, for glass it is 3 to 6, for water it is 88 at 0 degree Celsius. You have to remember this, and 80.1 at 20 degrees Celsius. So in this case you have to observe that the relative permittivity, so here just I have written relative, that I will write down it as a relative permittivity. The relative permittivity of the material, so this water will change as the temperature changes, right? So these are the few definitions which are required to understand the Coulomb's law, because we are using the constants, right? So let's start with the Coulomb's law. Okay, let's start with the Coulomb's law. So here first we will write down the two charges. Let me take one charge is Q1 and another one charge is Q2. So in between the two charges, in between the 2 point charges, let R be the distance between them. So here if both are positive, then there is a force of repulsion. If one is positive and another one is negative, then there is what it is, force of attraction. So if here I am taking both are positive, then here it will be F21 and this side it will be F12. What this F21 and F12 will represent? That F21 will represent the force on the charge 2 by the charge 1, and F12 will represent the force on the charge Q1 by the Q2. But in this case, in general, we will give the force between the two charges. Either there may be a force of attraction or repulsion. So let's start with the statement. What a statement says: the electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between the 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So here if you see, so now the statement, by the statement what we can write down, F is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Therefore, we can write it as F is directly proportional to the Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So now, if we remove this proportionality, we can write it as F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. What is K? K is a proportionality constant. And now let me take the two cases. In case 1, between the two charges, if the medium is air or vacuum, if the medium between the two charges is air or vacuum, then we can take it as K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now here we have used the term epsilon naught. What do you mean by the epsilon naught? Permittivity of a free space. K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. What do you mean by this epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is nothing but it is permittivity of free space. It represents the ability of a vacuum to permit the electric field, or it will permit the electric lines of forces. So therefore 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This epsilon naught value you should remember, epsilon naught is equal to 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Epsilon naught value is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. It is Coulomb square per Newton per meter square. This is the value of the epsilon naught. Just have to remember this. And if you substitute the value of epsilon naught here, you will get it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is approximately equal to, it is 9 into 10 raised to 9. It is Newton meter square per Coulomb square. So how I get this? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. If you substitute the value of epsilon naught here, if you calculate the value of K, you will get it as 8.9875 into 10 raised to 9. So this 8.9875 we will make it as 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. Therefore, what will be the formula at the end? What we can write down? F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Now this is your equation number 1. So now you have understood the meaning of the epsilon naught here. Now the medium between is air, and now that epsilon naught is representing the permittivity of free space, and it is representing the ability of the vacuum or the air to permit the electric field, or I can say the field lines. Okay, so now in the case 2, if I will take between the medium, there is a material medium. I will write it as material medium. Material medium means what? The material medium means either it may be rubber, or it may be mica, or it may be water, or it may be glass, any other materials. If I am placing between these two charges, if I am placing some other materials, then I have to use the second case. So in the second case, you are using K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon. K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon. So therefore, what will be the equation for the force now? F is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon. It is Q1 Q2 divided by R square. What do you mean by this epsilon? Epsilon is nothing but it is the absolute permittivity, and this absolute permittivity, you are defining it as it is the measure of the resistance that is encountered when forming an electric field in a medium. So therefore, this epsilon, how you can write down? By using relative permittivity. What we know, epsilon R is equal to epsilon by epsilon naught. Epsilon by epsilon naught. Therefore, this you can write it as epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon R. Epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon R. So let's substitute here. So now what will be the equation, final equation for you? Now here the final equation for the material medium I can write down. Fm is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into epsilon R into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So this is for the material medium, and this will be your equation number 2, and this will be your equation number 1. So this is all about your Coulomb's law. And now, if this lies clear for you, then we can discuss the next part, that is what are the limitations of the Coulomb's law. What are the limitations? So for the limitations of the Coulomb's law, as we know, it depends upon the intervening medium. That is the first limitation. And secondly, I can say it is not universal. It is not universal because its value will go on changing as the medium will go on changes. And also here it limited only for the static charges. So means if the charges are at rest, then only I can calculate the force between the two charges. If the charges are in motion, then I cannot apply the Coulomb's law. So this you have understood the Coulomb's law. Then please like and share my videos. So welcome to my channel Physics with MEH, and if you are having any doubt, please write in the comment box. If any problem with this derivation, please tell me, please write in the comment box so that my next video will be improved, right? So in the next coming videos we will solve the numericals on the Coulomb's law. Especially my motto in this year to complete all the numericals from the NCERT. Okay, so let's see you in the next class.